There's a bug in you.
Every fighter. We will be following you. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway you make, every cross, every dribble,
Okay, we're back in studio.
stop, every loss, every victory, every single sport. We will be watching you.
Welcome inside the locker room.
And a good morning to you once more, Lagos. You're tuned in and listening to Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And Folu.
And right now it's 8:15, which means on a Wednesday, it's time for sports inside the locker room. Joining us this morning is our sports pundit of life and destiny. Her name is Tega Onojaife, but you on social media may know her as Tega Supreme. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning.
Fantastic. Great to have you here. How you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back as
For
well.
many
I'll be
reasons
honest.
you don't even want to know.
We're upstairs.
we know. Lagos, we're always glad to have you there as well. So as we start to talk about this morning's sporting stories, and I know you're all gearing up, we've seen the memes, we know you already have things to say about the Eagles match. Just get ready to comment officially so we can read out your comments over the airwaves. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981 on Twitter. Go over to our YouTube live stream. You can comment there at youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. And last but not least, you can send in a message to our WhatsApp number.
Our WhatsApp number is 0809 444 981.
It really is that simple, and we'll give you these details again and again through the show. So if you have any issues, just let us know. But most importantly, remember that hashtag LockerRoom981. Now, our first story, let's talk some basketball, shall we? All right.
Yeah.
So the Houston Rockets point guard James Harden thanked his mother for being his backbone as he was crowned most valuable player at the 2018 NBA Awards.
Finally, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
sweet
we
stuff.
did it.
It's okay, sorry. We know you're his sister. Anyways, the 28-year-old beat the Cleveland Cavaliers four-time MVP LeBron James and the New Orleans Pelicans Anthony Davis to get this prestigious award. And Harden has said, we only get one life, and I'm happy she's my mom. I'm not getting emotion, I'm not doing all that, but she is my backbone. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's just so amazing. I mean, he thanks his mom. He should thank me too. I've been fighting for him from last season.
And I'm sure in his spirits he was thanking.
Yeah, I'm sure. We'll look at that. But it was well deserved. I remember last season when I was saying, no, it's him, not Russell Westbrook. Then this season he was like, okay, I'm going to show them again that I'm the MVP and nobody can take this from me. LeBron, the thing about this MVP is that when you watch, because of the time they give the awards, you can confuse the regular season with the playoff season and say, oh, but this person did better. But no. The three nominees were the three nominees, the guys that were consistent for the teams all season. I'm so glad that James Harden won it. Most improved player was Victor Oladipo. No thanks to the fact that he's left Russell Westbrook, so no selfishness there. But it was just great to see the NBA. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you win the championship at the end of the season. The fact is, when they look at what you have contributed for your team, you end up winning. It's not like football that you must win UEFA Champions League or World Cup to win Ballon d'Or. You once you've done so well, they see your numbers, they see what your impact in the team, then you're winning your MVP. So congratulations to James Harden. You finally gotten it. Keep up the good work. Maybe next year you'll be able to beat Golden State Warriors and help our condition.
Congratulations to him.
Nice. Now, WBC World Heavyweight Champion Deontay Wilder has branded Anthony Joshua and his promoter Eddie Hearn as cowards.
You dominate.
On Tuesday, it emerged that Joshua has been ordered by the World Boxing Association to agree to a deal to face Alexander Povetkin. In an expletive-laden tweet, Wilder said, "You're not a true champion. You're just a weak-minded coward that's holding hard metal. Facts. Hashtag. He continued, all they had to do is to say they were scared to fight, period. But instead, they made themselves look like what they are, not stand-up guys. I'm so happy it's now over, or it's over now. I've done my part. The world has seen that, so stay in England.
Well,
Why is he bragging so much?
He's not bragging. He's upset, and he has every right to be. So they've agreed to all the terms, money, everything. We are going to have this fight. Then the WBA says, no, you can't fight him. Fight this other guy. What are you saying?
Is it in his place to ask?
So you now have to push your fight for one inconsequential fight. Me, for me, I'm upset with WBA. Like, what's my business?
Why did they step in? That's
do you
what I'm
understand? And they knew from the start. For both fighters team to sit down, they knew they had to have a reason to now fight each other. They had now to have the opportunity to fight each other. You knew that they are going to do this fight. You've been made aware, you've been notified that this fight is going to happen. Then you come out some weeks later and say, no, he's not going to fight this person. He's going to fight this person. Why are you delaying our runs now? We are very happy. We're waiting for this fight. Let somebody be silenced or somebody be lifted up, but let this fight happen. And then you step in and say he should come and fight one. Who wants to watch that fight? We watch each other because Anthony Joshua. But at the end of the day, that's not what we want. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's precisely not. So I understand, but my annoyance is that Deontay Wilder has been made aware that it's the WBA that
exactly.
That so why is he abusing? Why is
Joshua?
he abusing AJ and Eddie Hearn, now making it look like as if maybe they did something about? Except he knows something that we don't know.
Yeah, it's sounding personal.
Except he knows something that we don't know. But what I think it is that he should have been calling out the WBA and not AJ or Eddie Hearn.
You know, they can just cancel his license.
It's true. It's true. You have to
So you can only call out the people that can't really, But okay, it'd be interesting to see. I definitely hope we get some kind of news developments in that area to understand exactly why the WBA sort of wandered into that situation. But let's move away from that now onto tennis. Fair. Champion Serena Williams to be seeded for Wimbledon. That is what world number 30 Dominika Cibulkova said. Now Cibulkova said, I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think it's just not fair. I've tried and I should be seeded. If they put her in front of me, then I will lose my spot that I am supposed to have. I was a former number 4, and it's also like, why should I not be seeded if I have the right to be? Now the decision on seeding will be announced on Wednesday, later today, British Standard Time, about 10 a.m. this morning. But that's quite serious stuff there. What do you think about this?
She has worked. Cibulkova had she had some injuries, but she has had a terrible dip in form. So she can't keep consistent wins, and that's why she dropped from world number 4. She didn't do anything dramatic. She just couldn't keep consistent wins.
Oh, no baby,
no baby, nothing. So she dropped from world number 4 to where she is now. But what it is that she's fought had to come back, had to go to a few tournaments that elite players like Serena will not go to, just to build up her ranking. Only for it to not come and tell her that
now push her back.
We'll see Serena Williams, because seeing Serena Williams means she's going to go up. She was like, no, you can't see her. Here's what's interesting. And Serena Williams had such a fantastic run at the French Open until the injury, where she couldn't play, which is why she had to withdraw. So she's not doing bad at this point in time. She's not doing badly at this point in time, and then you now see her. It just makes some other people feel very hopeless. Cibulkova is going to fight. I don't think in the end that Wimbledon is going to. I don't think they want to cause any controversy. I think they just want to stick with the rankings as they are, especially going by the fact that Serena Williams is going to, even if it's just for the first round of matches, going to pull her own crowd and maybe even pull her own weight. So I don't think they're going to change the seedings. I hope not. So players like this will not be bitter and angry and grumbling. But ultimately, Cibulkova just doesn't want to lose her spot that she has hustled for, and she has every right to protect.
Yeah. Understood. I would complain too.
So let's take a quick look at keep your messages coming into WhatsApp. The number is 0809 444 981. We'll take a look at the game yesterday. Okay, so Nigeria's captain.
Well, we're going to give special time to that game, so we'll switch to the next story.
No. All right, okay. So Diego Maradona, as much as I hate the story because of Maradona's pride yesterday, Diego Maradona was caught celebrating Argentina's late win against Nigeria at the World Cup with an offensive gesture on Tuesday. We all saw it at the end of the game as television cameras swung his way. Seconds after Marcos Rojo's winning goal, Maradona thrust middle fingers both at the crowd downstairs, swinging his arms back and forth. He also appeared to shout out before the cameras turned away.
Yeah, I don't want to call it overexcitement. I think at the end of the day, he has voiced his opinion severally in favor of Argentina. You knew he was supporting Argentina from the start with all of his life.
Yeah.
He has abused Messi, he has abused the coach, he has told the coach not to come back to Argentina. He said all sorts of things. So when they won,
neck pain in the middle of the game. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when they won that celebration, I don't think they're going to find him. Like he's just a fan in the crowd.
That's it.
It's not like he's the president of Argentina and he did that. Then they'll say they will have to find him. Or he was representing the country in an official capacity. None of that. So I don't think he's going to get any fine. I just think they're going to blur any picture around his hands from now on because you don't know what is going to come out. At the end of the day, he was so excited. I mean, there was stuff going on after the match. Some people saying he was not feeling fine. He's come out to say, "Okay, I'm feeling a little better this morning." But I mean, it was just a bit too much. I didn't think it was a nice thing to do. I didn't think there was any spirit of sportsmanship. And now I know I sounded like the Swedish coach, but it was not in good taste.
Is he an in good taste man? Let's be honest. He never has been.
So
let's stop attributing things to him.
God, exactly.
That's it, exactly. Let's not forget what we know him for. So, he's just that guy.
From the club to the training ground.
That's it.
Too arrogant.
On that note, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to be discussing the story that everyone's waiting to comment on. As Jure from Ishaga says, I'm commenting with tears in my eyes. Niger, we'll be back in just a bit. You're listening to The Locker Room on Smooth Breakfast with Valentine
and Folu.
And, of course, Tega Onojaife.
This is Paul, and you're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
That one hooked me on. I didn't plan to come.
What?
Go.
Okay.
At this point, Nigeria. This guy was tired. Moses was tired. Musa was dead.
All new Gencool air conditioner is energy saving and cost effective.
I think they played well.
Warranty
I didn't get to watch the whole game, so maybe not.
Gallo should have squared this ball back now. You're not Messi. And I know he's a striker. Normally, whatever was. And this one was close. This one I thought they had scored.
See, Tega, if you hear screaming in the airport, it will just give me high blood pressure. After a while, I was very angry. I was like, you should just stop shouting. You should stop shouting.
Because we had chances.
Because first we were on the queue, so we couldn't see anything. And the screen, I was so irritated. I was like, so why are immigration officers doing this to us? We have screens here that nothing is showing on the screen except welcome to time. Like, just put the game here so people can see. Like, you do it in any other country in the world. Like, I don't get it. He said, well, running to myself, we now made it past immigration come out. There was too much shouting. Almost now I was going to squeeze to be looking at the screen. It was bad. I was not looking for my luggage. I was looking at what boys were playing. So I just realized that my chest could not really deal with it. So I was like, let me just focus on my suitcase and leave.
And yesterday was the first time I viewed it at home. Like the other days, I've been going to viewing centers.
Oh, I never go to viewing center to watch that game. I'm joking. Viewing center to watch that. It's like going to viewing center to watch Arsenal play. Why would I do that to myself? I can't.
But I left my house yesterday.
That's too much.
I was in the house alone. I just came here.
Where
boys were.
I can imagine the shout, the screaming here.
I came here where boys were. When we scored that penalty, I didn't shout.
No,
just sat down. I was calm.
It was expected somehow.
Anytime we score, my own is just good. Let's just secure the drag. That's all. The issue, so just parking the bus is all we really needed to do for the last 5 minutes. That's all.
We still think too much.
Yeah.
Whoever.
And the coach did not help matters. This was the weak. This side was the weakling. Bring in a
Because they
boy.
always coming. That's when
Yeah.
Maradona scored. I said Maradona. Messi scored first.
Moving forward.
That side was this side was the weakling. Bring in a boy. He take out. He don't was even tired.
Pa! Look at that, so clear.
Moses is not even wrong with. Moses was tired. He was done. At this time, Moses was done. In fact, Moses was done since.
Lagos. The first thing that comes to my mind is the traffic. Everybody's
And
in a
then
rush.
what's his name? Cheta was in the middle of Argentina.
I know, I saw it.
Shut
I saw
him,
it
that's
post.
true.
Do you know that after they lost to Croatia, more Argentines came into the country? My friend was telling me.
We're back in, guys. Studio.
Everybody says it's Ikoile. I'm being to Miss Alabama, and that's my Lagos. Love music, love life.
Oh, yes. Miss Badness there commenting a little bit on the love music, love life situation right here at Smooth 98.1. In the studio at the moment, we've got Valentine.
And Tega.
Of course, and myself, Folu. It is Locker Room 981. We are talking sports. We're also watching a rehash of the game in Nigeria yesterday, but I'm going to read out a few messages before we now sit down to discuss this properly. Jure Famishaga says he's commenting with tears in his eyes, but goes on to talk about the boxing. He says that's how those boxing federation, the WBA and co people spoil things for fans and viewers because of their selfish interests. Very corrupt body. I hope that they, that is Wilder and Joshua, still stick to the already agreed terms so that after Joshua has killed a Povetkin, we can watch Wilder Joshua sharp sharp. No delay. Wow, wow, wow. And commenting coming, Estella says, China don't finish Niger. Odion the China striker. Hey, hey. This is in from ZZ Classic, who says, from Nigeria still deserves my accolades despite the qualification slot that the Argentinians ref and VAR. Meanwhile, Iheanacho, Igalo and Didi couldn't score when they had good chances. 3 opportunities blown away like crackers. So on that note, let's get into the actual story for this morning. Nigeria's captain John Obi Mikel was left confused and frustrated after Marcos Rojo was not whistled for a clear handball late in the Super Eagles World Cup, ending 2-1 loss to Argentina. I don't understand how that was not a penalty. Mikel said it was a clear handball. If you look at this game yesterday against Portugal, this was even worse. He, that is Rojo, had the ball and it hit his hand and it was open. Maybe the referee didn't want to give a second penalty, but for us, we've seen the replay. It was a clear handball. He looked at the VAR, the ball hit the hand. I asked him for an explanation. Did it hit the hand? He said yes. Why is it not a penalty? He did not know.
that was all good to me.
I think that was the most annoying part for him.
For him,
It's
that
just
was
explain.
They just explained to me
Let me
why it wasn't.
understand.
Why it was not a penalty. Because if he hit his hand, it should be a penalty. Again, I would say this: I wouldn't have given that handball a penalty. I'd have given the tackle on the Iheanacho because that was dangerous tackle a penalty. But this one, I won't give it a penalty for the same reason. It hit his head. His hand wasn't extended beyond his body. He was in the air, so there's some extension that his hand will make, which is what he had up. So I wouldn't give it. And it's also obvious the referee in the VAR room that actually agreed because if the decision was not split in the VAR room, the referee on the field would have gone to review it himself. So it had to be split. So some people were saying penalty, some people were saying no penalty. Again, VAR comes down to the person sitting in front of it. I've said it. There's still going to be human error at the end of the day. But we cry about all the penalties not given, the penalties given. Ultimately, it is fair. Ultimately, I think is that when we had our chances, bury them. For me, the question of whether it was a penalty or no penalty won't have come into play if Ojo Igalo had buried that ball.
Thank you.
That's it. Because the guy had missed the flight of the ball. The ball came to you. Score a goal. Let's celebrate. Leave whether it's a penalty or not.
Lock
because
it down.
do you understand? Lock it down. That was the other one. The second one was the one that he had the chance on the goalkeeper. And I keep saying, if you know that you cannot score from an acute angle, pass the ball back. It's simple. You don't have to hold. You don't say he had 2 Nigerian players in the box, so he could have cut back and they would have scored.
Exactly.
There were opportunities. So for me, I'm not even going to cry about calls that were given or not given.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. What I'm going to cry about is that our players didn't take the chances that were put before them, and also the coach. I don't understand. Brian Idowu's lane was weak and he was tired. Bring Ebuehi on at least in the 80th minute to help him for the last 10 minutes. The guy was tired. Musa was tired. Moses was tired. Sometimes these substitutions that you make, I don't
bring
even
energy
know.
back
Bring
into
Iwobi
the
on a
team.
little earlier. Yeah, just to bring energy back on the team.
Mm.
He didn't do that. So we can cry about the referee, but the referee is not there to please us. Our coach and our players are the ones that are supposed to please
Let's
us.
take your commentary also with people sending in messages, because obviously it is something that a lot of people are very passionate about. Ngozi, with respect to him, he was giving the finger to the Nigerians in front below him. I know this because my husband and his friends were below Maradona. He's just plain racist. Ngozi, no, he's just a rude fan.
Why you giving respect to Maradona?
There's no need to give respect. He's just a rude fan, and he seems everywhere in the world get caught up like that.
Big, very old rude fan.
There you go. Damola says, if only our players knew that the Argentinian players were under so much pressure and were afraid of them, maybe they would have played better than they did. Our only goal was sheer luck. Anyways, all the best to them and all Nigerians. Interesting. While Daniel from Ikoton says, I think game management killed us, and Eboye, he should have been introduced because Nigeria had like 3 players, Nidu, Messi, Mercido, and Pavon, he says.
On that wing alone for Idowu that was already struggling. Help him out,
Chimabi Victor meanwhile says Nigeria had the opportunities to win that game but wasted the opportunity. Were clinical enough to score and not to make careless blame games. Yikes. And Big T says, we lost gallantly. My only grasp with the Eagles is loss of concentration in the last 5 minutes of the game, giving too much space for Rojo to run in and score. It's 5-5 for Argentina now. Then get our formula, Sha. Wow. And Maiwa Shadare says, if we didn't take our chances, we switched off at the critical moment. The coach didn't make substitutions. Some decisions didn't go our way, and our inexperience got the better of us. We need to start preparing for 2020.
After we win AFCON 2019 first. That's my own.
And Sixter says, please explain why Rowe didn't open his eyes to bring in defensive-minded players when Argentina brought on Pavon and Miss Keshi. May so rest in peace.
Amen.
Still, Henry Manuel says, since Marcos Rojo was signed in 2014, I've watched 4 live games at Old Trafford, and he's been on the bench on all 4 occasions. My point is simple. Rojo is really bad. How he scored a volley with his right foot will forever be a surprise. The penalty that he caused wasn't given as well. And boycotting all Man United merchandise until he's offloaded. I make my money from Nigeria. Hashtag vexing.
Very quickly. Now, Brazil coach Tite says Neymar cannot be expected to carry all their World Cup hopes so soon after returning from injury. Brazil will face Serbia in Moscow on Wednesday, still needing a point to guarantee a place in the last 16. That's today. Now, in a statement, Tite said Neymar is only in recovery stage. He's a gifted player, but outside his normal standards, or he wouldn't be playing like this. This is an evolution. If you look at the heat map of his last 2 games, it has increased considerably. Maybe he'll be at the top of this game in the next match. We shouldn't place the whole responsibility on his shoulders.
I totally agree, and you as a coach have to start it. Did I just say you as a coach have to? Yeah.
Well, we get the message.
You have to start it as the coach of the team, and ultimately, you have to set your team up in such a way that not everything doesn't go through Neymar. Yes, he's a big name on the team. Yes, they're going to be people looking out for him to see how many goals he scored, what he's done. But if he's not 100%, you have to build your team in such a way that it is not dependent on one player alone, and that's where your job comes in. It's so sad that Brazil couldn't win the game against Switzerland, but they did manage to nick one against Costa Rica. They haven't been convincing to me, and this game against Serbia is also going to be an equally tough one, and they need at least to get a point to make it to the next round, or to ensure that they make it to the next round. So they need to come out and play today. And if they're dependent on a Neymar that is maybe it's not 100%, then that may be a problem. He has other pieces on his jigsaw puzzle. Use them. Enjoy your game. Make your team not to be dependent on one man. Maybe you'll be able to go further in this World Cup. But let's see how Brazil turn up against Serbia today, because I know it's going to be tough because Serbia is well structured, well organized. And Brazil needs to find a way to break those kind of teams down.
The match is at 7 p.m. today.
All right, let's move on. So VAR needs to be tweaked after the World Cup, says Dermot Gallagher. So Gallagher said that VAR is good for the game, but the former Premier League referee acknowledges that the system does require some fine-tuning. He says it isn't a perfect system, we know that, but it will unfold and get better and better because the people watching it will become more competent and the communication will become better and will get tweaked in different ways.
Yeah, and that the first thing is the people watching it will become more competent. Because there's some penalties at this World Cup I've seen given that shouldn't have been given, and there's some that I've seen that have been totally ignored. I've seen some red cards that should be given not being given. There is no way people convince me that Ronaldo had any chance. He needed to take a red. That was an elbow red card. End of discussion. If somebody did that to him, the person would have gotten a red card. So I think this VAR has sat down and started protecting big teams and big name players. Because in what I call poor taste, FIFA Twitter, one of FIFA's headquarters Twitter handle, actually came out and said, if Portugal beats Uruguay and Argentina beats France, Messi and Ronaldo will be facing each other. I was like, is that the script people wrote? Because what it means is that you people have found a way to make sure that these two teams qualify, just so that this rivalry will continue and will sell. Do you understand? So that's just poor taste. You don't put that kind of thing out on social media. Yeah. So there's a lot of things wrong with social media. Ultimately, the referee sitting behind the VR have to be competent first, and then we take it from there.
Yeah, watching you in 3D. Just before we take this break, I'm going to read out this comment by Ibrahim Hervest up on Twitter. He says, I'm more particular about Iheanacho. That referee won't tell me, say he did not see the tackle made on Iheanacho. Abi is waiting for them to use boot to tear him brain. Please, some people, not direct entry to hellfire. That was a fantastic meme that I'm going to have to retweet that one. When we come back, it'll be the final bit of sporting news inside the locker room. So keep listening to Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1.
Just be reading out the messages.
Yeah, okay, the thing is done.
When we come back, read out messages.
All the messages, okay.
There you go. Many WhatsApp messages.
Oh, there are plenty.
Plenty. That's because time is done, pal.
Yeah.
Let me show you on Friday.
What is that dream of yours? A vacation, further education, a business perhaps. Get started with Nescafe. Stand a chance to win 1 million naira and other cash prizes while you buy a Nescafe.
Okay, you guys listened to the chorus song yesterday as well.
It's an easy 3-in-1.
I actually like it. I just finally listened to it properly. No, but the girl's energy is on 1,000 anyways. But it's definitely her best song because she put out earlier ones that I was like, I couldn't really put on Great Fan because I didn't feel that they were up to scratch. But I like this one.
Get started with Nescafe.
I like it. No, the girl's energy, you cannot even question it.
Because most of the comments we got yesterday reacting to the songs we read were mostly on call.
Did you guys tweet that? Let her know that it's good. I'll send her the link. I'll send her the link.
Oh, actually, the day before.
Yeah, we did the day before. They retweeted it back.
Okay, to know that. Okay.
And she retweeted it.
That's fine. Okay, that's why her listeners, she has many followers on social media. Okay, this is long. Okay, back in.
Low cholesterol milk will always help keep you fit, so your family can stay happy.
Okay, back in.
Low cholesterol
Studio.
endorsed by the Nigerian Heart Foundation.
3 Crowns Milk, healthy, happy families. My name is Johnny Drill. Right now, you're listening to Smooth 98.1.
And most specifically, you're listening to Smooth Breakfast. It is the locker room. And just before we round up, we've got quite a few messages. So we're going to get into your messages and chat about the sports news from this morning.
On WhatsApp, Kelly from Lekki sent this one. It says, Igalo is the mistake we took to the World Cup. How do we not know that he has not scored since when? Only him knows when. So sad. And this one is from D. D says, he nodded the ball against his hand. He couldn't have moved his hand away from the body in the air. Also, the first penalty was soft. The reason we're here is because we failed to bury the 3 chances. 3!
Yeah, I remember the screaming in the airports.
Yeah, it's too bad. Benga says, Igalo was a disaster yesterday. His profligacy. That's what he said. Wow. At the front of the goal was the only reason why we didn't qualify for the next round. Interesting. Put the blame on that. Igalo
from Ikot says, if Rojo that has been trying hard to score as Man United but can't still see to eventually scores against Nigeria, but simple goal, Igalo can't.
Says, what I want to know is the continuity for the players, so the coach should stay and now can prepare also the local set.
And we have a local set in the team. Interesting. All right.
Ade here says, God bless you. Igalo lost us the game and really our left was weak at around 80 minutes. The coach did not make the right changes in time. Also, can we fast forward to the EPL timetable?
I says, PS, collect number 9 from Miguel. People have been shut out here, please.
I'm not having it.
One done with your messages for this morning. A big thank you to everyone who sent in your comment, who's message. We understand the feeling. Let's see, we've got that one in. Wow, Big T. Okay, he says, Tega, are you just knowing that FIFA and UEFA are business entities? Them go arrange games to sell tickets. Who wants to watch Panama versus Saudi Arabia play final? But Portugal versus Argentina final, I can hear the cash register from here. Yeah, we all can. Please go and catch up on today's sporting stories and discussions via our YouTube channel. Between 9 and 10, it will be time, Lagos, for you to get talking. Tega, thank you so much for your time this morning, as always. Make sure you find her online as well. She is at Tega Supreme. You can also find more information in terms of sports and the business of sports and women at LIS International. That is on Twitter. So coming up next, some great music and great conversation. You're listening to Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And Folu.
Good morning, Lagos. Excellent timing. Hey.